Hey Marbs, welcome back to Training Ground Part 3. If you want to hear Part 1 and Part 2, just go to tjmarba.com under the Did You Know section, and you can read this as well as all the other articles I have there in your free time. Okay, let's jump right into it. Pharaoh's cupbearer and baker were sent to the king's prison, where Joseph had been since that Mrs. Potiphar incident, okay? As they remained in prison for some time, the captain of the guards assigned them to Joseph. Joseph had to keep an eye on them, and technically speaking, since they are of higher status than him, he just had to make sure they stayed out of trouble. You know, now looking at this, I see how this would mirror the time when Joe was working for his brothers and would report to his dad, Jacob, the inappropriate things they were doing. Joe sees them one morning with a concerned look on his face, or on their faces, and knew something had happened. He asks them, "What is the matter?" Even then, he goes above and beyond his assigned tasks, generally concerned about them. Genesis 40, verses 7 to 8. They tell him they each had a dream, and leave it up to them, they would never understand what the dreams meant. Joe says, interpreting dreams is God's business. Genesis 40, verse 8. God gives him the download of what the dreams meant for each of them. In the dream, the baker got back his job with Pharaoh, but had a basket on his head with bread, and the bread was eaten by the birds. The cupbearer also got back his post. So Marbs, how do you tell a man he will be deleted? That is what the baker's dream meant. But the cupbearer was fine. I always wondered why the baker's story ended the way it did. How come the cupbearer was restored and didn't meet the same end as the baker? Marbs, I don't do a lot of research for fear of this 6 to 8 minute reel being too long. Neither do I claim facts. I'm just trying to understand the Bible more. That's it. So this is what I found from my minimal research, 2 Facebook comments, and to be honest, I would have never looked at it this way. Marbs, I think the best way I can explain it to you is this. When I was young, living with my grandparents, they would tell me stories from when they were growing up, like the first job they had, first love, etc. Both grandparents kept a running tally of who didn't pay them, who didn't like them, and who massively broke their young hearts. But my grandfather used to say this until I believe his dying days. Tongue and teeth in your mouth, you bite your tongue, you spit out the blood, but you still got your tongue in your teeth. Anyone who knows Brother Allen or knew Brother Allen knows this was his favorite line. It was a line that could be modified and adapted to the issues he may be talking about, but I don't think anyone ever really knew where he got it from. Maybe from a friend or a family member. The point is that this quote is now being shared with you, Marbs. A quote that is older than me, probably even older than my grandpa. So, the story of Joseph was told to all of the generations after him, and even unto us, the Gentiles, who at least know that he had a coat with many colors. Yet the hidden message may have been overlooked by many. The true training ground experience is foreshadowing what is to come in the New Testament. Side note, if you didn't know, the Bible is separated into 2 main sections. The Old Testament, which contains history and stories that tell us how the people lived at that time. And honestly, I can say it holds a bunch of Easter eggs for the crucifixion of Jesus Christ, which happens to be in the New Testament. Just like the baker would be deleted, the baker's bread represents the bread we take during communion. And the cupbearer's wine also taken in communion. Even communion, an act we do in remembrance of Christ and him going on the cross, was a message that stayed constant throughout every major, and I would even tread to say minor stories in the Bible. Marbs, even the fact that it is only now that Joseph finally is recorded saying to the cupbearer, "Once you get restored, remember me." Genesis 40, 14 to 15. or verses 14 and 15. I don't know, Marbs. That's like so eerie. I don't even know how to explain that. So this is what I got for you guys this week. Due to all my DC and Marvel fans, this is for you. Can you find the hidden Easter eggs in this story or any other stories told in the Old Testament linking to the promise of the Messiah? So here's one I found in Genesis. This was back in the Garden of Eden. So you'll find that in Genesis chapter 3, verse 15. You guys can read that for yourself. Exodus 14, verse 14 is the memory verse this today. NLT. The Lord himself will fight for you. Just stay calm. And that's what the Bible says, not TJ. And until next time, take care of yourselves. Bye.